Hey, Sheridan, hopefuls folk. It's funny, I don't usually do this, but I just wanted to. I was looking in at some of the backgrounds or the layouts that folks had submitted, just to have reviewed in the server, and it's nice to see some work even now. I mean, especially because it's summertime, and it's good to pick away at the portfolio whenever you can. I just want to talk about something, um, because I think with a background, I have so many backgrounds that I've saved both from my past students as well as just from good examples that I found online. Remember that when you're making your background, you are making this in the world of animation. So yes, that means, have a story, have a bit of personality in your background, but even think about the room itself, like the architecture of the room, not just in terms of the literal architecture that you see visibly on walls, on columns, on things like that, but also in terms of how you're exploring the space itself. There's so much diverse rooms and interiors you can make. It doesn't, like, especially when I see a bedroom or just like a room of a house or something. um, I can't help but feel like, we could see that in live action. We could take a camera and we could shoot a room and get a similar sort of layout, right? What is it specifically about your background that lends itself to the medium of animation? So, these are, I have a few backgrounds I've pulled here from the Fengzhou School of Design, and they're just fantastic. Like, this is some kind of observatory, but look how much they doubled down on that concept, that idea of the observatory, right? Big, thick tables, feels ancient, old scrolls, heavy books. Like, every single part of this layout is like helping to communicate the story of the scene. And I had to say, I mean, this isn't necessarily something I would tackle for an animation portfolio, but holy, the difficulty of this giant room, because there's a second layer with a weird like ladder type thing, I guess, that unfolds into stairs, with these hugely tall, like if you measured the human scale up there, this would be absolutely massive. So it's a very ambitious undertaking. This a little bit less so, but the details here are just wonderful and really indicative of the texture of everything. This is a bedroom, but they also double down on the idea of like, well, as you can see from the Telescope 2001: A Space Odyssey poster and these little planetary things, this kid is really into space and space travel and discovery and exploration. So, you can do a room, but you need to kind of also flavor it intensely with some kind of personality that, you can infuse through every object. The set dressing of the room, the mise en scène, it's called, where you're carefully choosing all these different objects to communicate this story and what this room is about. So, and also even the room itself, like, it's not just a big square, it's not just a rectangle. There's like this little part that kind of juts out, and then there's a wall here that comes forward, and then this kind of happens again with the cupboard over here. And then there's stuff in the way, there's stuff blocking other stuff. I don't think there's a single object in this room that isn't sort of blocked or at least obscured in some way by another thing, except the things that are kind of in the foreground. So, I mean, I think this is a great example of how to make an environment feel believable and also have a strong story, but still be a room. This is kind of more of a bar tavern. Looks like it was almost 3D modeled. It could have been. But, they put a bunch of things astray that are not according to the grid. It's like a bar fight just happened here, right? So it carries a very strong personality in the room. And also the room itself is weird. There's this part that tucks in over here. There's a doorway, window. This part juts out. There's like different parts to the floor. It's just a diverse, complex room in itself. So try to stray away. This is one super pixelated, from just like very, very basic. I have some exteriors here as well. Yeah, there's some student work, some from Klaus. Yeah, so if you're gonna do an interior, like, add a bunch of cool objects in it and really amp up like the animation potential of that environment. Some more past students. Yeah, this is a great one. Sorry, I'm skipping through past here because, okay, so this is a professional artist. This isn't a student, but I've grabbed a bunch from them because, like, yes, I get it. This is like ridiculous and super detailed, but also just like think about how much work and consideration went into everything. They had to research the architecture. They had to like really think through everything in such a thorough way that was heavily inspired by reference material of actual existing really cool buildings probably. So, this is animation. Go for it. Turn up the playfulness up to 11 on this one, okay? Anyways, that's my general tip for your layout. So I hope this helps a little bit. All right. Take care, everyone.